Well, today's Tuesday, June 7th. Probably my last day in Canada because tomorrow I'm supposed to leave. And this week it's been all about buying bags. This is my new bag. You know, that's where the computer goes. I get a couple of lenses. That's where the camera goes in. So it's pretty much, I use this as my regular backpack, even though it's a specialized backpack. But you know, it's very heavy duty, pretty expensive, but I like it. And this is another bag I just got. This one is for the camera together with the big lens. That's my camera over there, monster camera. Check this out. Now with the grip and the 500 millimeter, and with that replacement foot I got in Colorado. So I'm gonna take it with me just to see if I find any wildlife there. And I just got this part was defective on like this cover was too loose. You know, when I got this kit, which included the grip, the large battery, the charger, and this cover, when you did it like this, the camera didn't want to start because without the cover it worked fine. As soon as you tighten the cover, it was pulling the battery basically. I had to put a piece of paper under between the cover and the battery, and so instead of returning and replacing it, because I got it from B&H Photo in New York, you know, it's like expensive to send it back because they said we cannot do a refund because I threw out the packaging. And they said, but we can do an exchange. But you know, for me to send it over there to New York City, everything was fine. And so I just went on Amazon and I found this cap for 14 bucks Canadian. And so I thought, let me just try a different cap. And I got it, and I could see right away it was a much better quality, believe it or not, than the one included in the kit. And so I installed it. Now I don't need any pieces of paper between the cover and the battery. And of course, what that does is that it dramatically increases your battery life, but also it gives you 9 frames a second in continuous shooting, which is not possible when you just use a regular battery. 9 frames a second. So that's my monster Nikon D850 with a battery grip. In other news, so I've been searching yesterday and today for a load, and a guy called me. He has a load in Missouri going to Northern Ontario, and I saw that load. I was talking to somebody about that. We agreed on a price. I said I need 2 days to get there because it's about 720 miles from me here, but it pays pretty good, you know. I'm okay. I said, hey, I'm okay deadheading over there. And the best part is I don't have to change my setup. I can just go over there with an 8-axle, you know, quad trailer and quad truck. And then that guy disappeared. I said, what happened? He says, oh, they found another truck. But now this guy calls me, the same guy who gave me that load for Colorado. Remember I took that mine loader from Ontario to Denver, or Empire, Colorado. So the same guy calls me and he says, hey, I got a load here, Missouri to Ontario. I said, wait a second. I saw it on the load board. A bunch of other guys had it. I said, are you bidding or do you have the load? He says, no, it's mine. I just got all the paperwork from my customer. And I said, okay, if you can do this amount of money, and I give him the same quote what I told the previous guy. He said, hold on, let me just send all this to my customer. If they say yes, I said, yeah, then I can be there I said I can be there, I can load Friday morning. So today's Tuesday. I said if you do all the paperwork before the end of today, so I can leave tomorrow morning. So I'll drive Wednesday and then part of Thursday, find a truck stop nearby, and I'll be ready to load Friday morning. And of course I'll need to order permits because it's an oversized, I think it's an excavator, I don't know, but it's about 85,000 pounds. And then another thing I was busy with, I got curious about gun laws in Canada. You probably remember, if somebody has been watching my channel for a long time, I've been always joking about Canada that, I wouldn't even know where to buy a gun. And then all of a sudden, I see a story in the news media on Google Canada. I see a story where they're saying that it was like an interview with the gun store owner. He says they sold out all their handguns in like 3 hours. And I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? What handguns? I didn't even know. I had no idea that you can buy a handgun, like a pistol or a revolver in Canada. And what's happening now in Canada, unless you don't know, the government is trying to pass a legislation which will ban all handguns. And so I started looking into this. Like I said, I didn't even know that you can buy a handgun legally in Canada. And it turns out handguns, like there's 3 types of guns. There's non-restricted, restricted, and prohibited. And so non-restricted are like rifles and shotguns, and restricted are typical restricted weapon is a handgun because they're small, easy to conceal. And then prohibited are the ones like basically like machine guns and stuff like that, right? And unless you are a police officer or something, you cannot buy them. But turns out restricted, which is handguns, until now, well, now it's still, you can still buy them if you can find one, because everybody sold out. Because turns out, so that was, that story was about, that people rushed to the store, and basically nobody has handguns in Canada. They all sold out within minutes. As soon as people heard about this rumor that the government wants to ban all handguns. And so I started looking into this, like how do you go about like buying legally, a gun, let's say for hunting or recreational purposes. I'm just curious. And turns out, first off, the big difference between Canada and the States is that in Canada it's all federal. The regulations are federal. There's no province to province, like Ontario or Quebec. It's all the same law. And it's a firearms regulations, basically. So all you need to do, you need to take a course which is called Canadian Firearms Safety Course, CFSC. That's like level 1. And if you do this course, it's like 8 hours in a classroom, and then you write a test, and then you can apply for your Possession and Acquisition License, PAL. Kind of like, spelled as a friend, P-A-L, PAL, but they pronounce it as PAL. Like, you got your PAL? So I learned all this like within the past couple of days. And so, and that PAL includes a background check, the application. You have to pay a fee. Like the level 1 course is about $200 Canadian. And then PAL for a regular firearm, like non-restrictive, I think it's about $60 or $80 or something like that, but not a big deal. But it takes a few weeks. I think it's like minimum of 28 days. So it takes a very long time in Canada to do this, but it's possible. And then if you want to buy a restricted firearm, like which is still now available, like a handgun, right? You need to take you need to take a level 2 course, which is Canadian Restricted Firearms Safety Course. which is I think 6 hours, and then you also write a test. And so then when you apply for the PAL, you tell them, hey, you want the PAL for the restricted firearm. And I had no idea that we had gun stores in here, but I just clicked in gun store Ontario, and turns out we do have them. It's just not like in the States where you have them on every corner, but even here in Cambridge there's a gun store. They have a website. I go there, you can look at pictures. It tells you, you know, if it's in stock or not, the price, and of course to buy that you need to have this PAL. But I mean, it's pretty cool, you know. And I watched some videos about this pump action shotguns, so now I know which one I want. I know the make and model. I'm learning the features. But it would be cool to go to some kind of, you know, shooting range or do this skid shooting, you know. I think it's a good idea to, you know, relieve the stress. I don't care about handguns. It looks like they're going to be banned pretty soon, but shotguns and regular hunting rifles, they're non-restricted. You know, all you need to do is just take the level 1 course and apply for your PAL, and once they do the background check and you receive the license, you go to a store and you buy it. And I watched some guy, you know, do a show what a shotgun can do with a 4-gauge buckshot, like 18 5-inch barrel, a pump action Mossberg 500. Man, he was shooting at some containers with water and a garbage can, and it's so much fun, you know. I remember I saw a movie, Charlize Theron was starring, and I remember in the movie she lived in a RV trailer in a desert, and in the back she had a bunch of old toilets, and she said when she was stressed out she would take her pump action shotgun and go in the back and shoot at the toilets. But by the way, yeah, Canada is so different from US in terms of rules. So first off, there's no concealed carry, there's no open carry, right? It's illegal. And then, but the biggest difference is pretty sure it's considered excessive force if you shoot somebody. Let's say you're allowed to buy let's say the same, you know, 12-gauge pump action shotgun like Mossberg or something, right? Or what's the other one? Like a bunch of these Italian ones, Remington, right? But Mossberg is thought to be the best one, like 500 or 590. So you can buy it, you can keep it in your house in a safe, right, separately from the ammunition. But if somebody tries to break into your house and you shoot them, they will put you in prison, you know, because it's considered excessive force. I'm pretty sure, like, it's totally different that what you guys, if you're watching from US, than what you can do in the States, right? In the States you pretty much can shoot anybody, right? Somebody who's trespassing. But here they say, yeah, you can basically hit the guy, you can push him on the ground if you see like an intruder, but if you shoot him or her, you can get a prison sentence because that's excessive force and it's not justified. So basically our rules here in Canada are against using firearms for self-defense, which is like totally crazy. I don't know why, but and now they're trying to ban all handguns, which I had no idea were legal before. So anyway, so now what I've been doing, I want to take this course, and it's super difficult to book it because everybody's like, now people are getting nuts over here because of all these new regulations, and all courses, like there's a bunch of websites where you can find a certified CFSC course instructor, and it's like 2 months. You have to wait 2-3 months until you have the available spot at that course just for 1 day. So it's a very lengthy procedure, but that's what you know, I'm learning. So maybe in a few months you guys will see me post some videos about some shooting ranges, you know, and some skeet shooting. We'll see. And what's cool about these shotguns, I like that you can outfit them with all kinds of accessories, like a red dot laser aiming mechanism, and then you can put like a little magazine on the side, you know, where you can put cartridges, and you can really customize them, you know, almost like a car, like a performance car. You can customize your firearm. So never thought I'd become interested in this, but that story, the news story, you know, kind of like piqued my interest. Like, what? We allowed to buy handguns? And then that story was repeated. Like, now somebody was an owner of a gun store in Alberta was saying the same thing, that he sold out all his guns, all his handguns, basically. Like, people are going nuts. But what's funny is that if they're buying these handguns, that means that they have the PAL, possession and acquisition license. So a bunch of people have these licenses, but I'm guessing they were not buying guns or something, or maybe they were buying regular hunting rifles and stuff. So, oh yeah, and what they're saying is that once they pass this law, if you already have a handgun, they will not make you give it up, but you won't be able to transfer the ownership. So let's say if somebody has a handgun, a pistol or a revolver, then when this person dies, there's no transfer. So basically the gun would have to be destroyed. And so they're hoping that once this law is passed, in 1 or 2 generations, there won't be any handguns anywhere in Canada that you can own legally, because once you die, it cannot be transferred. Like, which is crazy. Like, Canada is just, I don't know, sometimes I think they're just taking it too seriously, you know. And then when you read the news, they say the majority of crimes are committed with guns purchased illegally, right? Like, there's guns coming from Mexico, from US, right? So stolen. Like, legal owners, I think there was like one case, they were talking about one guy like 20 years ago or something. The guy went on a shooting spree, and he bought his gun legally, and he went to a mosque, you know, like a Muslim church, and he killed a bunch of people with his legally purchased gun. But that happened because they didn't do a proper check on him. Turns out the guy had a history of mental illness, but when he was applying for his license, he concealed that fact, and basically he lied on the application, and he should never have gotten his license in the first place. There's like one guy. Everybody else, you know, all these criminals, they're not gonna go and buy a gun legally, right? So if they can get it on the street. So I don't know why they bother with this, why they're punishing people that are trying to observe the law, you know. But that's the reality in Canada. And by the way, all these AR-15, all these assault style rifles, they were banned a long time ago. Like, over here you cannot buy an AR-15, but there's a bunch of other guns that look very similar to them. They're legal. Like, I was watching, I went on this website. Like, basically it's like a shotgun, semi-automatic shotgun, except over here they limit the magazine. I think it's like maximum is like 10 cartridges, but it looks very similar to like a machine gun, except it's you know, single action, semi-automatic. Those are legal, they're non-restricted. It's just the specific AR-15 model was banned a bunch of years ago here. Anyway, so now I'm just waiting for my rate confirmation, and the broker is he's on Pacific time, he's in Oregon, and so hopefully he'll send me the paperwork later today, so I can leave tomorrow and start trucking towards Missouri to pick up that big machine Friday and bring it back to Northern Ontario. Thanks for watching.